Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
That person's disgusting, lazy.
I don't want to see two fat people kissing.
Look at that fatty jogging. Stop being fucking lazy.
I find it disgusting a little bit.
More people could probably stand to throw up a few meals.
Fucking exercise!
What is the worst thing that you could be called based on your physical appearance?
Fat.
Honestly, fat.
The worst thing somebody could call you is fat.
Anything that has to do along the lines of being called fat.
It's not a very nice thing to be.
Fat, I guess. Fat would be the word that you would use.
Fat is it's a derogatory term.
Chubby and call a little fat is not really the nicest thing.
Fat is the most hurtful thing someone can be called.
The negativity of the word fat and the use of it really has an impact on girls and, well, boys, anybody, any youth coming up in this world.
When you're living in a society where fat doesn't actually mean fat, it's very, very easy to devalue yourself.
I would start to notice her being worried about her body image when we would go to Prairie Winds, actually, the water park. We'd go outside swimming, and she wouldn't want to be exposed to anybody.
I have been bullied at school.
And what names did they call you?
They called me fat.
For me to see my own daughter go through it at such a young age, it's really difficult. Every day that she gets bullied, she comes home and tells me right away, and then I have a talk with her about it, and we end up making it okay. But that doesn't make it not hurt any less when she goes to school and the next day it happens again.
We've struggled with that for a long time, trying to convince children and kind of spread this message that the way you look, the things you see, are not the deepest things about you. And as for children, that's very hard because that's all you see.
It made me feel on the inside I don't like being fat. And it made me think, am I really fat or no?
She's already so worried about it now that I'm worried she's going to be the same way I was and still am, and she's going to grow up to have self-esteem issues her whole life.
I don't like being naked because when I'm naked, I see myself in the mirror and I see myself looking fat.
I have a little niece and I'm really mindful of this. She's just adorable. And I say, oh, you're just the cutest little thing, and I catch myself. No, you're a brilliant, funny, quirky little girl, and not necessarily labeling and talking about beauty, shape, and appearance. Most people know we have two hemispheres. We have a left brain and right brain, and they're actually not attached at all, except for at the bottom, at the corpus callosum. The only way that they work is if there's little neurological connections. And the way those connections are created is through what's learned, what's practiced, what's rehearsed. Ultimately, you need an integrated brain. They have to work together. Because if they don't work together, you've got an agitated brain, and then we see anxiety, depression, all these other things. The two different functions, the left brain, all L words. Logic, lists, it's linear, it's orderly. The right brain has all the emotions, creativity, playfulness. It's got hundreds and hundreds of ways to problem solve. How they work is the left brain says, I need a function. The right brain goes, okay, here it is. And then the left brain does it. And when it can do that, the brain just completely settles. And that's why you need those neurological connections. A lot of the changes that go on in the brain when they're toddlers up to when they're 12, 13, 14, there's lots of brain changes, and it gets laid out in error sometimes, and those connections aren't created. And what ends up happening is the left brain goes, well, I can settle down, I can take care of you. It can't, but it can through thinking about something over and over and over and over and over and over again. So then when the left brain does that, it does actually, in a really unhealthy way, calm the brain. That's why words like fat, the celebration of thinness, the brain goes, I'm going to latch onto that And I'm going to think about it, and that's where we get body image issues, that's where we get obsessive. I'm not good enough, look at her, and those things do affect the brain and the way that girls learn how to handle their emotional selves.
Why do you think that is such a bad word? Why do you think people think it's so bad?
I think that society has a preconceived notion of what is beautiful and what you would want to see.
Because of fucking images like that one right behind you on that billboard. Not one girl on that board, not one of them are chubby girls.
But if someone were to call us fat, it would probably just kind of play on our insecurities.
It's like something, yeah.
Would be lying if I, said I didn't want to look like George Clooney or like Brad Pitt or like any of the other ones.
I started viewing my body differently and thinking like, I am fat. I don't look like the people in the magazines. I don't look like people on TV. There's nobody my size representing me in the media, and it was really tough.
I'm worried of becoming like fat when I'm an adult. I don't want to be one like that.
Fat's a mean word, and it affects people so deeply. It's been with me since I was 13. I developed bulimia, and I have a lot of health issues even now because of it. The acid wore away some of my teeth, and I had to get a root canal done. My metabolism is really screwed up, so it's very hard for me to lose weight. And when I was younger, I didn't think of the health consequences. I just wanted to be thin so bad. Doctors would say that if you keep doing it, you'll die, and I didn't care.
The people who create these sites are so afraid of being fat and so afraid of their followers being fat that they create a community for people to do whatever they can so that they don't become fat. These people hate the idea of being fat. They absolutely are afraid of it. And why is that? Because we tell them through our media that they're worthless if they're not perfect.
As a person sitting down to watch a film or watch a television show or see something in print media where fat people are portrayed as kind of not to be taken seriously, what impression does that leave you with?
The belief that what is valued is weight, shape, and appearance would only lead someone to obsess if they don't fit those frameworks.
I would look at the magazines when I was younger and think, they're so pretty and shiny and beautiful and thin, and I just wanted to be thin so bad, and I thought that if I was, everything in my life would be perfect.
The negative terms of fat have been heavily linked with how health is perceived.
I think sometimes when we think about, what's healthy and what's not healthy, I'm a size 14, and, when I was a size 4, I wasn't necessarily healthy, but there's some girls who are size 4, who are 5'9", like myself, who are healthy. So healthy it's not really about size, it's about being healthy at any size.
Exactly. There is this message that if only you could lose that weight, then you would be happy. And it drives me crazy because how are you ever expected to maintain that weight being off, when you weren't happy to begin with?
I've had many friends who end up going on crash diets, and a lot of that has to do with just the belief that if you're not the size that Hollywood tells you you need to be, then you're not going to be loved, or you're going to be made fun of. I don't want to be any of that.
When I meet somebody who seems interested, I have to do a lot of self-talk to remind myself that I am valuable, I am attractive, I am intelligent, and I'm worthy to receive that love. A lot of times, especially in the media right now, people who are fat are almost, they have to rely on that fatness to be part of the humor of being them. I just don't think I can't think of very many fat actors who are taken seriously in roles. Usually it's, like I said, there's a comedic side to those sorts of things.
We need to start giving people equal opportunities. Someone shouldn't be denied a role because of their size. There's plenty of talented people out there. It shouldn't just have to be about their waistline or the way they look.
We idolize, stars and celebrities, and there just needs to be more representation, more plus size models. The average woman, I think, is a size 14.
We've done the whole, this is the leading lady, this is how she's supposed to be. It goes beyond just weight. It goes ethnicity. We don't have enough representation in ethnicity. We don't have enough representation in most things in our industry. So let's create new things. Let's start casting people of different sizes, different nationalities. Let's go out there and be original.
The greatest thing about doing this is messages I get, and I got one from a woman, and she said that if there was someone like you when I was growing up, then I probably wouldn't have developed an eating disorder. I wouldn't have been so self-conscious, and I think that was the greatest compliment that I could have ever gotten. The reason why I do it is so other people don't have to go through what I have been through.
They're all perfect and they're all beautiful, and if the artists at the moment, it's all gonna get better, and I don't know, it's always brighter on the other side, I guess.
There's a social stigma about it. I mean, and that's why you're doing this right now. Are you wasting your time? No, you're doing a documentary about this, and that's the whole reason you're doing it.
People need to embrace what they look like, be happy with themselves.
Wow.
The motto of the Fuller Women Expo is be happy, be healthy, be you.
Yeah.
And I really think that that is such an important message for everybody.
And I think it's also an empowering message too.
There has been some changes, and I see that with models and magazines, and people are more conscious, I guess, of their decision making in what they are watching and what they're doing with it. But I think we need to continue to encourage youth to speak up, pay attention to what they're feeling, what they need to do, how to speak in exclamations, as we say at Juno House, so that they just feel really good about themselves.
It's getting so much better. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years, and just from then to now, the amount of models and clothing stores that are opening for plus size women is pretty amazing, and I think society is starting to take the hint.
It's a matter of finding that place in yourself that when you get up in the morning to go and have your shower and you're looking at yourself naked in the mirror, you can find all the best things about your body, and really start to look at things kind of as a whole, and appreciate what you are as a whole, and not just the skin or the amount of skin you have.
My Facebook is open if anyone wants to contact me, if anyone needs any advice. I've been there, I've done that. I have had people contact me, women who said if they had someone when they were growing up that maybe they wouldn't have become anorexic to become extremely thin. I'm happy now with my own image. It's taken me 15 years to come to this point, and it's taken counseling and support of friends and family, and just a different way of thinking that size isn't everything, that doesn't define who I am.
When you don't love yourself, you're on permanent self-destruct. Being healthier doesn't mean you're going to be skinnier. It means that you're going to be happier. I believe health will follow when you find happiness.